Okay, what up, y'all? My early mornings, man. Spit up and down, everything in the game, man. This your boy LCDAONE, baby. LCDAONE reacts, okay? Yeah, man. I've been looking at this LeBron Isaiah Stewart incident all morning. I'm watching First Take, obviously. Now I'm looking at Undisputed with Shannon Sharp, Skip Bayless, okay? And they talking Chris Broussard, and they talking about it. And I got the video right here of when Stephen and JJ Redick and Keyshawn Johnson was talking about it. And basically, they showing the play over and over and over again. And I'm a basketball player, and I'm surprised that JJ Redick didn't even mention this, but they're only thinking about the suspension part right now. But what I seen was that it wasn't a correct box out by Isaiah Stewart. Okay, it wasn't a correct box out by him, because I played basketball. Okay, when you're in the blocks, you're supposed to wrap your arms around the player. Okay, nothing waist high or any of that. Okay, because that could start an altercation that which y'all seen. That's what happened. Okay, because he was pushing LeBron almost in his neck to the point where he was off balance, where he could have pushed him down. Okay, and he probably could have got stepped on by the players and stuff. Now, DeAndre Jordan was right. He was on the first block. Okay, then the Detroit player Isaiah Stewart was on the second block, and LeBron, like how they taught us, man. When you're in that penalty situation, they on the other end, we at the free throw line, so that's how they line up. Okay, you're gonna have your team player on the first blocks. Then that's how it go. Okay, same thing. Now LeBron and them, they was on the other end, and Detroit had fouled. That's how they would have lined up. LeBron on the first block, the opposing player on the second block, okay, and et cetera, et cetera. And that's how, and then you're supposed to box the person in, the opposing team, so they can't get the rebound. All right. Now I'm surprised JJ Redick didn't even mention that, because they pretty much acting like it was LeBron's fault, and like he had really initiated all that. But really, he didn't, because the young player was doing something that wasn't, it wasn't part of the rule. And LeBron basically was trying to get him off on him, Now, if LeBron would have really threw an elbow, all he did was slap him with his hand. Now, if he would have threw an elbow, it would have been intentional, like, if he would have did like that. But he didn't do that. All he did was just try to push him off of him, because he was pushing at his neck. So I feel like LeBron, like Keyshawn said, he shouldn't have been suspended at all. However, the young player, Stephen A. Smith, was saying he should have been suspended for 5 games, which I think Stephen A. Smith was correct. He was correct. He should have been suspended for 5 games or more, just to send a message to him. He a young player, 20 years old, man. This is a new era. These millennials, I don't want to say nothing against them, but, it's a different time now. They coming in with different type of swag, a different type of cockiness. And then he was bulldozing people over in the play. After the play. And like Stephen A. was saying, it was seniors on the team. He could have really hurt somebody. He a big dude, young and stuff. And then he went to the locker room. He was going spazzing out, running. They was trying to restrain him, take him to the locker room. Okay, but he was completely, clearly out of control, and he had to be, restrained. I'm pretty sure the league because he could get banned from the league if he would have went further. Based off what he was doing, he could have got banned from the league. Let's listen to this video real quick, because I got to deal with out of here. Okay, let's start. Let's see what Max Kellerman, JJ Redick and Stephen A. got to say about this. Hold on. Let me turn them up.
years that I've covered the league, talk about the Jordans of the Kobe's of the world and people like that.
Right.
And you saw LeBron when he first came into the league. You saw when they went to the finals. You saw when they was feigning, taking pictures and playing around and being jovial. LeBron James is too phenomenal and too great not to be incredibly respected. But in my estimation, from the people that I've spoken to covering the league, he's never been. LeBron is not somebody that instills fear in you. Of course, you got a game plan for him, and you know that his Herculean talents and what have you, and what he brings to the table, he's impossible to stop. He's one of the top 2-3 players in the history of basketball.
Right.
You know all of those things. But a lot of times when we think about MJ, for example, and obviously he's the one person that draws those comparisons, what ultimately comes up short is the level of fear that was instilled in you. You didn't mess with MJ.
Yeah, but you know, LeBron, he's not that type of player. You know, he's a funny entertainer. I ain't gonna say funny, but you know, he's a more outgoing person. You know, he relates to people well. You know, same thing like Shaq. Shaq was the same way, but you know, Shaq, he made you fear him on that court. You know, he was so dominant. You know, in that around that area. You know, you got to get physical. Shaq coming to play. You know. He a big dude, strong dude. He come to play, and that's the same thing LeBron do. Everybody know how LeBron used to just come to the lane and bulldoze you over. Hey, you just got to get ready to play, you know. But in this, same thing with being in the block on the free throws for trying to get a free throw or we get a rebound off a free throw. Same thing, you know. The dude he didn't box out right. That's just the bottom line. He instigated that whole. He know he didn't box out right. So he know what he was doing. He was throwing a cheap shot at LeBron to get LeBron off his square because they know that he was about to show up in New York, and this was going to start a whole new swing. But now Carmelo going to take that tone, and he going to show up. They keep forgetting that Carmelo Anthony, is on the team now. So even if you miss him, LeBron, what happens? Carmelo finna start in his spot, and he's still gonna light it up, okay, against his old team. So this makes sense. I understand that part. You know, they ain't gonna miss a beat. LeBron gonna be cheering them on and stuff like that. You feel me? Because this is all about Carmelo Anthony's night, not LeBron James. Even if it's on national TV, I did not know that. So I gotta know what time to come on because I gotta take SJ to get her nails done right now. So let me see what time that come on because we will probably go live and we're gonna be talking about it. So if y'all wanna come back for the last thing, come back, man, and you know, turn the notification bell button so y'all know when I'm gonna go live. So yeah, 9:30 or 6:30. The game will be on. I'm trying to see what network it's gonna be on. I think it's gonna be on. I hope it's on ABC. They say TNT. The broadcasts on TNT, ESPN, or ABC are not available to watch live. So it may be on. I hope it's on ABC tonight. And if it is, I'll come back live and we will watch that game. Well, I'll do the play-by-play and all that, for that game live. But yeah, man, let's finish the rest of the video and I gotta get up out of here, man, and finish listening to what they're talking about.
You come at MJ like that. You didn't do stuff like that. People, and I'm not talking about Isaiah Stewart, I'm just talking about period in terms of opponents and how they come at you. You believe that you wondered what you was going to do about this. With LeBron, you believe you can take him. You believe he can be had. Whether it's because of the teammates around him, the system he's playing in, the people that, whatever skill set you bring to the table, et cetera, you just view him differently. And throughout the years in covering the league, those are all the things that I've consistently heard. Now, obviously, he would refute that. There's players that will refute that, who have been supportive of him. Rich Paul and Maverick Carter definitely would refute that because I've spoken to them about it in the past. But again, he is profoundly respected. This is not an issue about respect for LeBron. I'm talking fear factor. Fear factor. That's just not something that has ever been associated with him.
There's a lot to unpack there.
Go ahead.
A lot to unpack there.
That's why you're here.
First of all, two of the guys you brought up in that conversation, Kobe,
Yeah.
got two-piece by Chris Childs.
Yes, Chris Childs.
Michael Jordan got the hell beat out of him for years by the Detroit Pistons. They challenged him physically. To say that LeBron, who's won 4 championships, multiple league MVPs, made the finals 8 straight years, To say he's not feared
Not
by
feared.
players?
Not feared.
I don't know whether to believe that you believe what you're saying.
I do believe
that's crazy.
Well, it's not crazy. It's not.
That's crazy.
It's not crazy, and you know better. You know better.
When,
You've been in the. You've
but
been.
hold on. But when has there been a situation? If you're talking physical confrontation,
No, I'm not. Listen.
physical confrontation.
Listen. Well,
If that's what you're referring to,
I'm not-
nobody's ever challenged LeBron like that. Why would they?
Nobody could challenge him. I forgot who it was, the center that played for the Chicago Bulls when he shoved LeBron to the ground, pushed him to the floor when he was in Miami. But that's neither here nor there. What I'm saying to you is this. If you watch the game, which you do,
I played the game, but I played the game,
I know,
Stephen A. And I played against LeBron in the playoffs.
Okay.
And I played against LeBron. I played against LeBron for 15
You
years.
fear what he can do. Listen, you fear what he can do to you on the basketball court because nobody could ever question the greatness of LeBron James. But what I am trying to say to you is that you look at him, there's certain things with MJ in the era that he was in. I've spoken to Isaiah, I've spoken to Dr. J, I've spoken to Kareem, I've spoken to Magic, I've spoken to other folks. There's a culture that existed in the 80s, into the 90s, into the 2000s, or what have you. When you look at LeBron and you compare him to some of the preeminent superstars that have played this game, when it comes to fear, that's one of the differences.
You mean because LeBron's more accessible, like in terms of
It could be-
personality,
it could be-
where
it could
MJ
be-
wasn't like one of the buddy guys?
That could
or
have a lot.
Kobe?
That could have a lot to do with it. What I'm saying is, we're talking about the greatest player who ever played the game, which I believe to be Michael Jordan. And a lot of times, when you delineate the difference between the two, whether it's Michael Jordan or it's LeBron James, they're talking about a fear factor. There's just certain things you knew that you wasn't going to do with MJ. You could come to MJ on the court. But the things that people have done, the way that they've talked about LeBron James, the way that they've come behind.
Okay, key fact. I hear what Stephen A. said. You can come at him on the court, but then as far as the media on the other standpoint, and anybody else that's trying to scrutinize him and say stuff, no, Michael Jordan, he struck back. Like when I was here in the 90s. Okay, so I sat there, I watched Michael Jordan whole career. And people keep leaving this part out about how when Michael Jordan got so fed up with the media pounding him and talking reckless to him because they was attacking him, he was like, look, man, I'm not gonna say any from this point on, I'm not gonna say anything else to you guys. Okay? And he kept reiterating like, man, I done gave y'all 13 years of my life. Now I'm finna devote that to my family, etc., etc. And he said I wasn't gonna say nothing. And I swear to God, I was right there. Not right there where he was at, but I'm here in Chicago. Michael Jordan didn't say nothing for months. He was getting fined every game for not talking to the media. No press conferences, nothing. I swear to God. And he silenced all that. All the verbal attacks, everything stopped. Now, what Stephen A. said, that was a key point because this is how they debate ended. You know, he ain't talking about him being attacked on the court. Of course, they came at him, like what JJ was saying, physically. Yeah, they did. They attacked him physically. Michael Jordan, he refuted that. He bulked up, got stronger. Right? He got stronger so he can deal with that physical punishment and that abuse, the trash talking, all that stuff. Right? He ate it up and spit it out. Got so strong mentally and physically. Now this is separate. Stephen A. talking about, yeah, he's being attacked off the court like LeBron been attacked. They said LeBron's a loser. He lose a lot. LeBron not consistent. LeBron, he quits. They've been scrutinizing. They've been pretty much slandering him in the press, killing him, his image. Okay, so LeBron fall back and he just let his actions speak for his word. But when he start defending stuff like last year, the previous year, he was defending himself. You know, LeBron has started saying stuff. Okay, from all the attacks. So let's get back to it.
Him in the media behind his back and stuff like that.
Right.
You hear stuff 30 years later about MJ. A lot of times you didn't hear that kind of stuff going on because there was a level of respect and fear that LeBron, I shouldn't say respect because LeBron has always been respected. But yes.
Stephen A. Hold on a second. LeBron has grown up in a completely different world that existed in the 80s and 90s. There was no first take in the 90s. Could you imagine in the New York Knicks series, LeBron or MJ going to Atlantic City day before the game, coming home at 2 a.m.? Social media, this show, that's all you would talk about for days.
No.
For days.
No.
Yes, it would be.
No, not in this show. Not in this show. Because as far as I'm concerned, listen, let me tell you what I said back there. Because I'm glad you brought that up. Michael Jordan went out and gambled, right? And Michael Jordan, hypothetically, I guess it was in the millions or whatever he might have lost. My response was, you have any idea how much money Michael Jordan was? What do you care? Mind your business.
But what does all have to do with
No. I'm just bringing you brought up
stuff?
Atlantic City. I'm saying the point that I'm trying to make.
The reason people talk about LeBron though is because he lives in a 24/7 news
They would have
cycle
talked about
all the
anybody,
time.
and it would have been just as bad, if not worse, for MJ, no doubt about it. But I'm talking to you about respect and fear. There's no question. We ain't talking about respect with LeBron.
And I'm disagreeing
We know
with
that.
you completely.
And so you're saying,
disagreeing.
There's
you're
no
saying-
credence to Stephen A's argument, JJ.
so you're saying that the people like that, the fear that Michael Jordan instilled in people, that's what LeBron did?
Yes.
Okay.
In a different way. I mean,
Okay.
like,
Okay.
you're
Okay.
comparing two different things.
But
To
that's
say
what-
that his peers don't fear him,
Fear.
opposing coaches don't fear him.
Fear.
You
Listen.
think people want to go into a playoff series against LeBron?
No, I'm not talking about basketball. I'm not talking about basketball. On the court, I'm acknowledging his greatness. What I'm saying to you, the way people talk about him, the way they look to attack him, and I'm talking about contemporaries in the National Basketball Association. I'm not talking about his performance on the court. That's not what I'm saying. And by the way,
See that? That's what he's saying about the people around him that's attacking him verbally, off the court. And of course, on the court, JJ made a good point because he played against him. Everybody they fear him on the court because he's so dominant. But Stephen A switched it up on him, and I think he won a debate by saying, "Okay, you got that one right there. You got that in. Okay, they fear him on the court. Cool. But off the court, bad tackle. All right." And that's just the bottom line. And he don't defend himself enough, or have defended himself. Okay, because they continue to attack him. Okay, so when he was hurt, nobody said anything about him being hurt with a groin injury. But him coming back, this is something different now. They talking about the team. They scrutinizing the team as collectively as a group because they're not winning the way that the people thought they was going to be winning. Even Stephen A talking about it. But now, the best player coming back again after an injury, and now you see what's happening. This first game back, second game back, third game, something like that, and you see what's happening now. They know they're about to go on a nice little streak or something like that. Something special is about to happen. They're starting to get chemistry. So this one way they throw the team chemistry off. But I'm telling you, they got a bunch of veterans, so this is a different situation now. Let's finish it up.
Attacking LeBron. Who's attacking LeBron?
I'm talking about over the years, people that have come at him. Come on, JJ. I gotta go to my archives to look this up.
I would love from a play. Find me a player, more than one.
Right.
Find me a player who's attacked LeBron.
We do have.
Thanks for what?
See, he wasn't talking about a player. He's talking about everybody as a group now. Okay? There's no players attacking him. None of his constituents saying they all respect him. Okay? And they already discussed that. But he's talking about, because he lost that debate right there. See, he learned it. He knew the first take. And JJ had it at first. He had it, and then Stephen A closed it out. And so I'm going to call it a tie. I'm going to call it a split. Split decision. They both won that battle right there. But JJ, you know better. Like he said, you know better. You play basketball. I play basketball. You know for a fact. If you see this video, JJ, you know for a fact that Isaiah Stewart did not box out correctly. Right? There'd be a lot of pushing and shoving going on down there. But still, that's not the way you box out. And that's what instigated the situation. And we won't be talking about this right now because LeBron, he's not a dirty player. He wouldn't do that. He knows it's a physical game. That's why he's strong. 250, 6'9", like Stephen A said. But everybody know if you play basketball, organized basketball, you know he didn't box out correctly, and he know better. He being 20 years old, just getting in the league, fresh out of high school and college. Technically, he know better than that. He know better than that. And he was pushing LeBron, instigating it, almost pushing him to the point where he pushing him in his neck and pushing him almost where he on one leg about to push him down. LeBron was like, hold on, get off me, man. And I don't think LeBron was trying to hit him in the face like that, but he was trying to push him back strong enough to get the big dude off of him. And he ended up catching one. He caught one of them hands. That's it, man. But hey, man, what y'all think, man? Leave y'all opinions. This your boy LCDAONE. LCDAONE be as active as your reaction guru. Make sure y'all like, share, comment, subscribe, and turn the notification bell on. I'm gonna holler at y'all later. You dig?